and Assalamualaikum. I am Alizatul Saimah binti Sulaiman. I will explain the difference in eating decorum between the Kadazan Dusun and Malaysia Chinese. Okay, I will start with the dining etiquette of the Kadazan Dusun community. For them, the dining atmosphere is more about being relaxed and friendly, like a family atmosphere where people sit quietly on the floor on mats. The dishes are usually placed in the middle, and everyone shares the meal together, with eating by hand being more common than using spoon. During the Kamatan festival, many Kadazan Dusun people will make and enjoy the tapai. Tapai is a traditional fermented rice wine, a symbol of togetherness. Overall, eating in Kadazan Dusun culture is simpler and less formal. Now, let's also look at eating decorum in Chinese society. The dining etiquette is more formal and ethical. There are clear rules at the dinner table. They use chopsticks and bowls as their main utensil. Food is usually served on round tables so everyone can easily take dishes, and this also symbolizes unity. In Chinese culture, there is also element of hierarchy. For example, the elderly or honored guests will eat first. So there is the tradition of yamsang, which involves drinking tea or alcohol together as a sign of respect and prayer of well-being. So as you can see, the difference between the Kadazan Dusun, eating in Chinese culture is more structured and full symbolism. In conclusion, Kadazan Dusun dining etiquette is more about togetherness in relaxed atmosphere, while the Chinese community emphasizes respect, formality, and culture significance. Next, I will explain about the food menu. First of all, the Kadazan Dusun community. Their menu is mostly based on local ingredients like river fish, village vegetable, tubers, and rice. A unique feature is that they use a lot of fermentation or pickling technique. For example, Hivana is raw fish marinated with lime, and Nonsong is pickle made of fish. Next, they also have linopot, which is rice wrapped in leaf, usually eaten during ceremonies and celebration. Their menu is simpler and usually only include one or two main dishes. If we look at it, Kadazan Dusun food is more traditional and it's so hard to find it a modern restaurant. Most of them are only prepared at home or during special event like the Kamatan festival. Meanwhile, for the Chinese community, their menu is much more diverse and easy to find. Chinese cuisine typically consists of many different dishes in single meal, such as soup, vegetable, meat, and rice. Some examples of popular menu items include dim sum, bakut, teh, yisang during Chinese New Year, and Chinese fried rice. The cooking techniques are also more diverse. For example, stir frying, steaming, frying, and herbal soup. Every food also usually has a symbolic meaning. For example, noodles symbolize longevity, and hisang symbolizes popularity. Next, Chinese food is also more commercial. We can see Chinese restaurants every place, and most of the dishes have become mainstream in Malaysia. So, if we compare, the Kadazan Dusun menu is simpler, more traditional, and community focused, while the Chinese menu is more extensive, modern, symbolic, and more easily accessible in daily life. So that's all for me. I will pass to next presenter.
I'm Izzatul Soleha, and I will be the next presenter emphasizing about the comparison food waste between Kadazan and Chinese Malaysians in food preparation, domestically versus eating out and communalism. As we look at the Kadazan community, on the left side, food preparation often takes place at home, using fresh produce from the land and rivers. Traditional dishes like kinava, which is raw fish marinated in lime juice, and bambangan, a white mango delicacy, reflect their close relationship with nature. Cooking is usually communal, especially during the harvest festival or family gatherings. On the other hand, on the right side, Chinese Malaysians prepare their meals with an emphasis on balance and harmony. Rice remains central, paired with variety of stir-fried vegetables, meats, and nourishing soups. While home cooking is important, eating out at hawker stalls and restaurants is just as significant, like kopitiams, making food culture both a domestic and a public experience. As we look onto the slides, when we compare Kadazan and Chinese Malaysian dishes, we see two different culinary identities shaped by lifestyle in history. Kadazan cuisine reflects self-sufficiency and preservation. Besides hinava and bambangan, dishes like senalau bakar, smoked wild boar, and tuhau, a dish made from with white ginger, highlight how indigenous food waste transform natural resources into unique flavors. On the other hand, Chinese Malaysian cuisines carries the legacy of migration and adaptation. Noodles, dumplings, herbal soups, roast meats, and festive pastries like mooncakes all tell the story of Chinese communities bringing their traditions to Malaysia and blending them with local tastes. Rice remains the shared foundation, but the styles differ. Steamed and eaten with side dishes in Chinese home, or turned into fragrant rice wines and celebratory dishes like Kadazan villages. Both cuisines may use the same staple, yet they tell very different cultural stories. Moving on to the next comparison is commensalism, or the way meals are shared between generations. Both Kadazan and Chinese Malaysian cultures place great value on eating together. Among the Kadazan, food is often served communally during harvest celebrations, with elders honored at the table. For Chinese Malaysians, the tradition of the family reunion dinner during Chinese New Year is one of the strongest examples of intergenerational commensalism. Meals are shared around a round table, symbolizing unity and respect for elders. In both cultures, food is more than just nourishment, it is a way of strengthening family bonds and cultural identity.
Alright, so my name is Ahmad Ariki bin Jamaluddin, and for my part I will explain about costume and technological changes. For costume, for the Kadazan Dusun, food is closely linked to traditions and ritual, especially during the Keamatan and Harvest Festival. Rice and rice wine, known as tapai, are very important and symbolize unity. In meals, younger people usually serve the elders first, and there is a strong belief that rice should never be wasted because it is sacred. Meanwhile, for the Chinese, food customs are strongly tied to symbolism and festivals like Chinese New Year or Mid-Autumn Festival. Each food carry a meaning. For example, fish represent abundance, dumpling represent wealth and longevity, noodles symbolize long life. Meals are shared at a round table to show unity, and just like Kadazan Dusun, elders are respected by being served first. In comparisons, both groups highlight respect for elders and unity. But Kadazan Dusun customs are more related to agriculture and harvest traditions, while Chinese customs focus more on symbolism, prosperity, and ancestral respect. Alright, so the next one is technological changes. For the Kadazan Dusun, traditional tools such as bamboo and stone were once common in cooking. Today, modern technology like rice cooker, refrigerator, and gas stove are widely used, especially in rural areas. Traditional fermentation for tapai is still practiced, but now sometimes with modern container and hygiene methods. Social media also help promote Kadazan cuisine to younger generations. For the Chinese, technology has advanced much faster. Modern kitchen use induction cookers, blenders, and steamers. Restaurants even use food delivery apps and online payment system. At the same time, traditional methods like hand-pulled noodles or stone ground soul meal are still preserved. Technology has also helped globalize Chinese cuisine, make it popular worldwide. To conclude, Kadazan Dusun are gradually blending modern and traditional technique, while the Chinese are at the front line of adapting digital and modern technologies in their foodways. So, in short, both ethnic groups are adapting to changes while keeping their tradition alive. Custom are continue to protect cultural identity, while technology helps them evolve and connect with the modern world. So that's all for my part. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum. Today, I will present a comparison between the Kadazan Dusun and the Chinese Malaysian community that focusing on their cultural changes and religion. So, how both adapt in Malaysia's multicultural society? Let me begin with cultural changes. Among the Kadazan Dusun, intermarriage with Chinese has led to the information in Sino-Kadazan identity. This blend brings together Kadazan tradition such as Keamatan celebration with certain changes. Families structures sometimes reflect both in heritage and even surname make Kadazan as well as Chinese influences. These cultural exchanges how open Kadazan are to celebration while since maintain in their indigenous tradition. For the Malaysian Chinese, intermarriage with Malays or other local groups has given rise to the Peranakan or saturate Chinese communities. This community reflects a deep blend of Chinese traditions with Malay culture, seen in wedding, clothing, and also language. Younger generation of Malaysian and Chinese also adapt by using Malay, English or even Sabah Malay in their daily communication instead of traditional dialects. At the same time, festivals such as Chinese New Year continue being celebrated, including Malaysian dishes and practices and highlight their adaptation to the local environment. Now, moving on to religion, the Kadazan Dusun community today is predominantly Christian, largely due to missionary influence during colonial era. A minority have embraced Islam, often through intermarriage conversation. Despite this change, some Kadazan Dusun still prefer element of their traditional animist beliefs such as ritual connects to spirit or harvest celebration Keamatan. In contrast, the Malaysian Chinese community is more religiously than diverse. Their practices include Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism, with significant number also embracing Christianity and some convert to Islam. Many Chinese families also mix traditional folk religion and social worship and temple ritual. Even those who are less religion often celebrate festival like Chinese New Year with cultural ritual. For the conclusion for our presentation, although the Kadazan Dusun and Malaysian Chinese are different in their tradition and religion practices and also the others, both share a common value. They use for rituals, food, and celebration as a way to strengthen family bonds and maintain their cultural identity. In short, this comparison shows us that diversity is not only about differences, but also how communities can adapt, still preserve their cultural groups. That's all from us. Thank you.